This is Inside Indiana Business Radio for the afternoon of Friday, June 16th, 2023. I'm Alex Brown. Abnormally dry conditions in recent weeks are forcing farmers across Indiana to keep a watchful eye on their crops. Officials from Purdue Extension say the conditions for corn and soybean crops have struggled with the hot and dry weather that the state has seen, but add it is too early to tell if there will be any significant yield losses. However, Indiana State climatologist Beth Hall said while it's important to keep an eye on the state's drought status, she is cautiously optimistic due to a forecast of rain across the state. Hall told the Associated Press that farmers and climate experts are focusing on when drought conditions are occurring and how that could impact crop yields.
If they have too wet of fields in the spring, that's going to delay planting. But then as soon as it dries out in the field, it could be dry for weeks, if not months, and that's not good. So we need to really think about when is the timing of the drought critical, because we could have a dry month and that may not be a problem. But if it's at a critical time of vegetative development, this could be a disaster.
Indianapolis-based real estate development company TWG has announced a new $9 million project to build an affordable multifamily community in West Baden Springs. The development, called West Baden Lofts, will be a 44-unit housing project with 2- and 3-bedroom layouts. Units will be reserved for people making 30 to 60% of the area median income. Construction will begin this month with completion expected in late 2024. Indiana's unemployment rate rose to 3.1% in May, up from 3% in April. The Indiana Department of Workforce Development said today the state lost 2,300 private sector jobs over the previous month. Despite the drop, Indiana has still gained 66,500 jobs compared to this time last year. The state's unemployment rate remains below the national rate, which rose 0.3% to 3.7%. From the number one source for Indiana business news, this is Inside Indiana Business Radio.
For 25 years, we've had the honor of telling the story of Indiana business. More than 1,300 shows, 8,000 interviews. We've traveled from Valparaiso to Versailles, Fort Wayne to Fort Branch, and everywhere in between. And we are just getting started. Our team is passionate about Indiana business because your story is worth telling. Join us every week as we travel the state to bring you Indiana's story. Inside Indiana Business, 25 years and counting.
The Indiana State University Board of Trustees approved a 2.75% tuition increase during its meeting yesterday. The bump in tuition will mean full-time in-state undergrad students will pay $9,992 for the 2023-24 academic year and $10,258 for 2024-25. Student trustee Kimberly Collins opposed the increase, stating she was against ISU surpassing Purdue University's base tuition. ISU President Deborah Curtis said there was one big difference.
To the consumer, take a look at the fees that are added. They are not the same as Indiana State. That's another area where we work hard to keep our fees down as well, and that's the cost difference.
ISU officials said the tuition increase is below the recommended increase from the Indiana Commission for Higher Education and below other institutions as well. Pure Pharmacy plans to relocate its operations from Carmel to Fishers, where it plans to hire 50 people and increase its drug compounding capacity, the city of Fishers announced today. The company plans to spend $4.5 million to lease and equip about 21,000 square feet in a patch development building under construction in Fishers Metro Park near the Indianapolis Metropolitan Airport. According to an incentives agreement scheduled to be heard by the Fishers City Council on Monday, Pure Pharmacy has agreed to relocate 27 employees who make an average of $31.50 per hour and hire an additional 50 who will be paid an average hourly wage of at least $28.14 per hour. The new jobs will focus on compounding, compliance, dispensing, and support. A report commissioned by TechPoint details a need for Indiana to take advantage of what is described as a unique opportunity to position the state as a global leader in technology application and adoption, driving innovation in the state's advanced industry sectors. Ting Goody is TechPoint CEO.
It's really kind of hinged upon our ability to attract the top talent and present them with the right opportunity, exciting opportunities. So having that cutting edge technology, continued investment in technology space, it's not nice to have, but it's really a must have.
She said the state is already doing a great job in terms of sustaining its research and development, high-ranking universities, and corporate ecosystem as well. Now, she says TechPoint, the state, and its partners need to shine a light on Indiana as an engine for digital innovation to further other technology adoption. A 13-member committee will convene this summer to examine how Hoosier communities, large and small, can attract economic development while protecting prime farmland. IIB's Kate Sharon has more.
A bill establishing the Land Use Task Force came from first-term Republican Representative Kendall Culp, a lifetime farmer from Jasper County who also serves as vice president of the Indiana Farm Bureau. The committee will study growth trends in rural, suburban, and urban communities, food security issues, factors that develop consider in sitting projects, and ways in which communities can overcome barriers to attract appropriate economic development. Those obstacles often come in the form of local opposition from residents who fear that new development will take away prime farmland and alter the landscape of their community. As a former longtime Jasper County commissioner, Culp said he understands the pressure local officials face to vote down a project. The goal of the task force, Culp says, is to provide local officials with data and guidance to help them make decisions that promote smart economic growth. The information could help government leaders determine if the right type of land with the right type of soil is being protected for farming or gobbled up by development. The Land Use Task Force will include 6 lawmakers and representatives from a wide range of industries, including agriculture, business, construction, development, food and beverage, local government, planning, real estate, and zoning. Committee members are required to report their findings and recommendations to the Legislative Council no later than June 30th, 2024. Kate Sharon, Inside Indiana Business, Radio on Demand.
Media personality Carlos Diaz is this week's guest on the Business and Beyond podcast with Gary Dick, presented by PNC, a weekly conversation with high-profile Hoosiers in business, sports, and entertainment, and beyond. Available now from your favorite podcast provider. I'm Alex Brown for Inside Indiana Business Radio on Demand.